spoke with a couple of Cy Young Award winners, and now we got a guy that played in a couple of All-Star games, 15 years in the major leagues, a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, Dodger legend Shawn Green. Shawn, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit before you came on. You did your splatter painting. Dave Hobrick's got his splatter art, and you hit your target. We're good?
I think so. It took me a little while, but I didn't go underhand like Gagne did. So.
My gosh.
Yeah, it's one of those, right? I mean, you're kind of close to it, so you got to, I don't know if Gagne's hitting spots over there or what, but did you just reach back and try to blow a hole through the thing, or what are we talking about?
I mean, Gagne could paint, so that's he could always paint. He'd paint the corners with his changeup, his curveball. He'd drop it in there once a month, and it was right down, right where he wanted it. He's unbelievable.
Was that your walk-up music?
That was, yeah.
Oh, my God. I hate that song. I swear. I got my butt kicked in Detroit to that song.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the Lions beat us, and they played this song, and the whole place went nuts. I hate that song.
It does get the crowd going.
It does get the crowd. Yes, it really does. It really does. When you did hear it, I mean, did a switch flip in your head when you heard this?
Of course, yeah. No, every time if I hear it driving in the car, something that kind of gets me. Sometimes it gets me like a little nervous, a little excited, whatever it is. It definitely brings back some old feelings and thoughts.
What's the memory that comes back? Like, is there one at bat or something you can remember?
No, not a specific at bat, but I mean, not to say this isn't the right crowd necessarily to say, but I had that first in Toronto as a Blue Jay, and then I had it when I came over to the Dodgers, and it just became such a nice walk-up song because the crowd would start, picking up the woohoos. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
Shawn, like you mentioned, you played for 4 different big league teams, but you spent the majority of your career in Toronto and L.A. And here we are, getting ready for Game 6 between Toronto and L.A. And what would it mean for the city of Toronto to win the – I mean, you spent a lot of time there. You had a great deal of success there. Never got to a World Series in Toronto, but what would it mean, first time they've been to the World Series in 30 years, not just to win it, but to take down the Dodgers in the process?
Yeah, I mean, the city's super hungry for a championship. It's not just the Blue Jays,
the Leafs
but
too.
The Leafs have been, they haven't won in forever, and the Raptors did win. I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's a rabid fan base, and I actually snuck a ring in '93 because I was a September call-up.
Oh, perfect.
So I was 0 for 6. I started my career, I was 0 for 6, but I gave Joe Carter day off, and he ended up hitting the big home run. So maybe I gave him that rest. And
yeah,
kept
good
him
job,
healthy.
Shawn.
Right, so I should get the ring. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's everybody's rooting for the Dodgers. Everybody here is rooting for the Dodgers. But, I mean, it's kind of hard, and you have to appreciate good baseball when you see it. Toronto's playing good baseball.
They are. I think they match up really well. I mean, both teams are. It's a great matchup. That's why it's been such a fun World Series, and I think it's going to go 7. And you expect Yamamoto to win Game 6, and then Game 7, his gloves are off, and it's flip a coin because you have, everyone's available. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to pitch, and blah blah blah. But no, I just think they match up well. The one thing the Blue Jays have, I think, that's unique in baseball right now is their lineup is more reminiscent of a mid-'90s lineup.
Yep.
They have a couple big boppers in there, but they have a lot of guys who are going to have good at bats and put the ball in play and not just try to swing for the fences.
Shawn, you had 324 Major League home runs. So, obviously, you were a slugger. But when the team is struggling the way the Dodgers are, and you watch these guys come up, and it feels like everybody's trying to break everybody out of the slump all at the same time, bunch of big swings, a lot of strikeouts. They struck out 15 times last night. Even as somebody that does have a bunch of pop in your bat, are there times to shorten up, to try to get a little shorter to the ball, to try to put something in play? Because you look at what Toronto's doing, they've broke this game open a couple times, not because they're hitting home runs, because they got a bunch of guys on base, and then you're getting a hit here and there. Yeah,
no, that's exactly right. You got to take what they're going to give you, right? And if the guy is Savage, he had great stuff. And,
he sure did.
And you have to kind of shorten things up. I guess the challenge on the flip side of that is, you get the postseason. If you never bunted during the season, you try to get a bunt down. It's really hard to do. So it's hard to all of a sudden change your approach, and not only in a short window of time, but also in the most pressure-packed time. So I mean, that's kind of the thing. I think that's one of the advantages that Toronto does have is that that's the style of baseball that they played all year, and that's what made them successful. And it's not hard to change from that. It's hard to go to that if you're just kind of all or nothing. And not that the Dodgers are all or nothing team. I mean, I think they have a lot of guys who do put the ball in play. You got, Freddie Freeman, Mookie, a lot of great hitters. So the momentum shifts really quickly. And, when you get a couple guys at the top of the lineup cold together, it's tough to score runs.
Shawn, I know we call it a slump. When it's just not happening for you, I mean, first of all, it sucks. It just feels like you're never going to hit again or do whatever again. What does that feel like to pull yourself out of that? And how do you pull yourself out of that when you're fighting yourself out there?
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy in baseball is it could be like, first of all, sometimes you show up and you're in the cage, and you're like, oh, it's here. Like, you don't know why.
That quick.
It just shows up.
Yeah.
But the other thing that happens is it could be one swinging bunt, and you get on base after an 0 for 10, 0 for 12, and you're like, oh, okay. You got the monkey off your back, and you feel good. And I actually thought one big mistake that the Blue Jays made is in Game 1 when they were up by a lot. Like,
to Shohei?
I would not pitch to him and get him hot, and then he hit that home run, and then boom, boom, boom. He's hits a couple more home runs, and he's hot. So it can happen that quickly, and that's the thing is, the Blue Jays came out the last game and they hit a couple quick home runs, and everyone's just like everyone relaxes and the at bats get a lot easier. So if I'm the Dodgers, I'm going into Toronto saying, okay, we just gotta just really jump at them early and not swing for the fences, but get a couple guys on, put the pressure on, take the crowd out of it, and that really changes the whole dynamic, the rest of the game and possibly the last two games.
Is there any way a teammate could help Mookie Betts? Like when you're struggling, is there anything they could say, do? I don't know.
No, there's really nothing you could do. You just gotta keep battling, and that's the thing is, you as a hitter, like I know for me, I had sort of different things to go to. It's like, okay, I'm struggling. I'm just going to spread my stance out, not really try to stride, and just play pepper with the ball and just try to get the bat head on. You got to have different go-tos, and you still have the slumps. But I think sometimes going up there and having something you could kind of hang your hat on for that at bat or that approach helps you get out of like, oh, I'm struggling. You have something to focus on.
Is there? I mean, Mookie is a perfect example. Freddie's kind of in a, he hit the big home run to win Game 3, but he has not been swinging the bat like Freddie Freeman typically swings the bat. And, your credentials, I mentioned them at the top, a couple of all-star appearances, Silver Slugger, 15 years in the big leagues, 324 home runs. But confidence is such a big part of baseball. And when you think you're going to get a hit, you get a lot of hits. And even a player like Betts, even a player like Freeman, even a player like you, Shawn, are there times where you're there like, man, I don't think I'm ever going to get a hit again? Or is it always in the back like, I'm in the big leagues, I've done a lot of good things, it's going to come around again, I just don't know when?
Oh, both those are true, without a doubt. I mean, I'm telling you, there's times where I'd be on deck, I'm looking around the crowd saying, I could just grab someone out the stands and they're going to do a better job than I am. It's like, I have no chance right now. And then there's other times where you feel like, oh, I figured this out, and then as you play longer, you realize neither one of those is true.
Right.
But it's it's not like if this is the regular season, you got another 7,500 games to play.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to come back. I'm going to be fine. But when you have 2 games to play, it's like, okay, I gotta come up with something and just make something up and figure it out because we need to win two ball games, right?
So we talk about when it's going well. You, of course, had that game in Milwaukee where you hit 4 home runs. You went 6 for 6. You scored 6 runs. You had 19 total bases. You drove in 7 runs. And it's one of the great offensive games in the history of Major League Baseball. And then you see what Ohtani does, which was, we saw the 50-50 game a year ago when your name got brought up a lot because it was the greatest offensive explosion we've seen a Dodger player have since you had done it. And then you see him do it in the postseason while he strikes out 10 guys. Like, is there any way to put into – I mean, to have a day like that where everything is clicking offensively and to have to go out on the mound like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
You should actually hate him. You know that, right?
Probably, right? No, I mean, I played with Dreifert, and a great guy and great Dodger. And
he could hit, too.
Yeah, he hit 2 home runs in a game and hits really well. And so, I mean, something like that could happen, but it's not – you kind of – with Ohtani, you kind of expect him to dominate on both sides of the ball, right? Every time he's on the field. And – we've never seen anything like it, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again in our lifetime. I think there's probably going to be more players that come up that do both just because he's opened that door. The door was really never opened before. I mean, Dreifert's a good example. He was a great college hitter, but never got to be a position player. But the thing with Ohtani, I think that blows me away the most of anything was the 50 stolen bases. Because I can understand how someone could be a great pitcher and still be a good hitter, but then all of a sudden you throw in 50 stolen bases, that's like, what? Like, that makes no sense.
That makes no sense at all. You said you know the Bay Area. Did you follow the Raiders? Do you know who Steve Wisniewski is? The big guard?
I was more of a Niners guy. But
Niners guy. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think. They're the most intimidating dude. Yeah. Like, well, nobody from them, but when a guy would break the huddle and he would spin around and you realize, oh my God, I might be in for a long day. Like, this is going to be a tough one. Did you ever have that feeling when you saw a guy, anybody you faced, like, okay, this is that dude?
Oh, for sure.
Which guy?
Well, so the guy that I hated facing the most of anyone was when I was with Toronto was Mariano Rivera.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
that's
Okay.
you're not alone there.
Right.
Yeah.
What did that look like coming in? I'm curious. Yeah.
It just looked. I tried everything against him. I tried moving up in the box to say I'm going to hit it before it cuts. I'm going to move back in the box and give myself more time. I'm going to move in on the plate so I don't swing at it. And one time I even went up there and I told Pat Haken, he's a former Cy Young winner, and I said, I'm not swinging. There's a guy in third. I'm like, I'm not going to swing because I know it's not a strike. He follows me in. And I'm telling you, like, he must have had that thing mic'd in our dugout. He threw it straight down the middle, and I look in the dugout, and Haken's like, and then I do it again, and he throws another one straight down the middle, and then he starts laughing. And then the third pitch, I'm like, I'm not going to swing. And then he throws it down the middle again, and like the last second, I kind of like half swung when it was in the glove. But he was just one of those guys that it was an optical illusion.
Yeah. He was laughing? You said he was?
No, Mariano wasn't. But Pat Haken was laughing.
He was
because
laughing.
He knew he knew what my plan was. My plan was so bad.
Like the thing about a guy like Rivera too, was basically is a one-pitch guy. He just threw that cutter. A pitch like that, I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame because he threw that pitch. But what about when you have to face a guy like a Yamamoto or a guy like Ohtani who's got like 7 or 8 different things that they can throw at you? How do you just look for one thing and hope you're on time for what you're looking for?
Yeah, so I mean, guys like that, I would really pay attention. So I paid close attention to how they pitch left-handed hitters. Right?
Yeah.
Because when righty's up, I'm cheering, hey, go get him, whatever. But I'm not as focused because, when I was in Toronto, Carlos Delgado and I were, similar, and so we watched each other's at bats and paid close attention. And I would pick a pitch, like if he was trying to get ahead, if he was like behind the count 1-0, 2-1, he wants to throw that split finger to kind of get back in the count.
Yeah,
those are the pitches I would just sit on it and say, you know what, that's the pitch he's going to try to get a lot of play because he's trying to fool me with speed, not in and out. And if you're sitting on it, you can hit it pretty well. It's almost like batting practice if you get it up in the right spot. So like that was kind of my approach, but it's not like it's definitely not foolproof because I would think a guy that's comparable would be like Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were either like up and down, they're kind of fooling you, and like Pedro's fastball rose and his split finger changeup would go straight down. And then other guys like Maddox would be more like side to side. They'd throw a ball that would sink and a ball that would cut. And so they're kind of fooling you that way. So you almost just have to pick what you want and what you think they're going to throw in certain counts and just be ready for it.
Which Pedro? Jericho Pedro or Pedro? Jericho Pedro was like dangerous.
I played all the Pedros.
Did you really? Okay.
When I was in Toronto, we faced Montreal.
Okay. You've seen every Pedro.
I've seen every Pedro. He was tough. Yeah, he was another one that you asked who was tough. He was up there too.
One last one for you, Shawn. You decided to come to L.A. and play for the Dodgers. Was that like a hometown team kind of thing? Did you grow up? I know you grew up in Orange County. Did you grow up a Dodger fan? Were you an Angel fan?
So I moved here when I was 12, and so I already kind of had my allegiances, and I was in San Jose. So
okay.
I was more. I love Ricky Henderson, and I got to play with him twice, and he was my coach in New York, which I could tell you a bunch of stories. God rest, rest in peace. He was the best and great teammate. I wouldn't say I was a Dodger fan growing up, but I quickly became one in 2000.
I bet you did. All right, you mentioned Ricky Henderson. Everybody that's played with or against Ricky has their favorite Ricky story. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Ricky's first day coaching, I'm playing catch, and there's a lot of Ricky stories. But his first day coaching with the Mets, so they fired someone, and he became our first base coach halfway through the season. And so I used to play catch with David Wright every day, and I'm on the right field line, and David's out, going out in the outfield. We're stretching it out, and Ricky's with our rookie, Lastings Millage, and they're just talking. And so David comes up to me. He's like, "You would not believe this conversation." I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Ricky, this is his first day with our kind of hot dog, rookie. He's teaching him how to catch a fly ball and snatch it down to his hip.
Oh my God!
And pick at his jersey while he does it. That's what he's teaching. That's the coaching job.
Yeah, you better be Ricky Henderson if you're going to do
Work
that.
for him.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's a real pleasure,
Yes,
Shawn.
it
Thank you
is.
so much for coming by. Spend a little
thanks for
time with
having
us.
me.
Enjoyed it.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you
Yes,
too.
sir.
Shawn Green, 2 All-Star games, 15 years in the major leagues, played for both the Dodgers and the Blue Jays as well, and has Ricky Henderson stories, which are my favorite things in the world.